Hi everybody. If you've not been to my channel before, I'm Michelle Tennant. This is my husband, Shannon Nicholson. Say hi, baby.
Hiya.
This is week 2 of van life. We're in our van. See? We're in our van. And our dog is outside. Tell everybody where we are.
We are in Vega, Texas right now. We're at one of the Route 66 cultural museums.
Yes, and it was quite an experience. So I thought we would tell you about our week 2 here, and then I'll go back to video and montages throughout the video. It hasn't all been awesome. It hasn't. Some of it's been downright nightmarish. So why don't we take them from the beginning
Of week 2?
But week 1, we already told them about Mulberry Gap, and that you weren't stoked about a $200 bill.
Well, week 1, yeah, we started out in Mulberry Gap, and then we went to Land Between the Lakes in Tennessee, and then in Kentucky. It kind of spans the 2 states.
I thought Land Between the Lakes was beautiful.
I enjoyed Land Between the Lakes. I thought it was nice.
What did you like about it?
It was our first on the road experience of dispersed camping. I mean, we've done dispersed camping before, like when we went to Helena, but this was on this
We
trip.
always call it Helena, but it's actually Helen, Georgia.
Oh, it is Helen? Okay. So in Helen, Georgia.
The Bavarian place in Georgia.
Yeah, that place.
We have a video about that too. But that was before we actually left our home for good. So
yeah, right, exactly. And so that was nice. I loved it. I loved a lot about that place, Land Between the Lakes. The campsites that we found were beautiful.
I was a little nervous that we were going to get stuck.
Yeah, there was one. So it rained. It rained really heavily the first night that we were there in, what was the name of that point? I can't remember it now. It wasn't Pisgah Point. It wasn't the other one, but
I'll put it in there. Middle-aged brain.
But it rained heavily, and it was super muddy out there where we were parked. And luckily, we didn't need to go anywhere, so we stayed an extra day.
But here's what I thought was going to happen. Okay, our feet, the next morning when we woke up, I went to go walk the dog, and my shoe just kind of sunk in and that suck. And I was like, that's what's going to happen to the van.
It would have happened. I mean, that van is nearly 10,000 pounds, right? So
this
van would have happened. But luckily it dried out some before we needed to leave, and we changed campsites. We went to Pisgah Point, and that was beautiful. We were on the river that night.
We were on
the river both nights, really. It's kind of a river. The
river lake situation.
It's a lake. They call it
Bay.
Between the Lakes, but they're kind of rivers too. Anyway, I digress. It was very nice, and then we headed to Bentonville.
Oh yeah, Bentonville. Well, wait.
But before we got to Bentonville, on the
nightmare.
way, we went to the 11 Point River in Missouri. It's in those arcs, and we
were excited about it because
the
reviews were good.
Supposed to be a really beautiful place, and I think that normally it is, but they had horrendous flooding there about 2 weeks
we just
prior.
Can't get rid of the flooding.
Everywhere we go is where it's flooded out. Same later. Spoiler alert. But it was horrendously flooded. There was a lot of damage there. A concrete boat ramp had washed away. There was debris everywhere. There was actually dead animals floating in the eddies in the river. So it was really gross. And on top of all that, it was very weedy, and it was so many ticks.
So many ticks. We pulled ticks off of us, ticks off the dog. I think I pulled.
Still pulling ticks off of us.
Yeah.
We found a tick on me.
I'm itching right now from one of my tick
It's gross.
bites.
It's really gross.
So 24 ticks off of Iris, and then we had to wash. I had to wash her. We're in the middle of nowhere, and I was like, I'm going to probably run out of water. So anyway.
And then we went to Bentonville, and Bentonville was awesome. I love Bentonville. Bentonville is fun anyway. It's a beautiful city. It's got a beautiful museum. Walmart has spent a ton of money, millions and millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, on a museum tens of millions of dollars on trails out there, mountain bike trails. They're great. We went to Devil's Den State Park, which was a short drive south
We loved it.
of Bentonville and Fayetteville, and it was great. And we rode Devil's Racetrack, fantastic mountain bike trail. And
I had
then,
one dude meet us, and he looked at us, right, a middle-aged couple, and he ate it on a river crossing. And then I was like, you know, he was kind of telling me how to do it. I was like, do you actually ride motorcycles or mountain bikes?
He
or
didn't know what he was
whitewater
talking about
kayak?
at all.
He's like, no. And I'm like, and he said,
Yeah.
why? Did I say something wrong? I said, well, you just, basically your advice is like in the current. And I
Right.
have been
Well,
a professional whitewater raft
He didn't
guy.
say anything right.
Anyway, I was like, just, can you please get out of the way? And then I just like zoop right across,
You did.
like Jesus on the water, man.
Yeah,
and,
you made it look easy.
I did.
Yeah.
It was one of my moments, like, yeah,
That's great.
yeah,
Yeah.
shut up, right?
In his face.
Mansplaining me, man.
That's
But
right.
anyway, we don't have that on video, but we have some other it was a beautiful trail where we like drove under waterfalls, and it's really a beautiful, and it was hard enough. Like, you know,
It was super fun.
we don't want it to be too easy, but we don't want it to be too hard. It was just right.
Yeah, that's right.
Lots of rocks, lots
Yeah.
of roots, lots of switchbacks. It was fun.
Technically challenging, but not too difficult.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really fun.
Yeah, just fun. It was super fun.
When
And
after
then,
that, like, where did we go? Oh, in
okay.
Bentonville, we went to Planet Fitness, and you weren't.
We did.
You
We
didn't think we'd like that. But
We
liked
stayed
it.
in the Planet Fitness parking lot a couple of nights, and that was really good.
Yeah. it was
And
fun.
we did some other dispersed camping. We stayed at a place called Natural Dam, which is just out in
yeah.
one of the, I think it's the Ozark National Forest. Beautiful place. We stayed on Tower Road,
Yes.
and that was beautiful. That was in the Ozark National Forest. And then we headed out, and I guess, when was that? Was that Monday we headed out?
Yes,
No.
we had to work. I had to work, so we had to stay, and I had to work a little bit in. We have to make sure that for work, because he works too. We both work for my PR company, and we got to have internet access. So sometimes we had to like ditch a place because it had too much too much trees. So and then we would just drive to more of an urban area that has more open area. So
Yeah.
like we stayed from Bentonville. We went to
Short drive from Fayetteville, Bentonville. It was like an hour and a half, 2 hours. We went to Summers Ferry.
Summers Ferry.
That was in Oklahoma. That was
that was
nice.
actually really
That was
nice.
really nice.
A little fishy smelling, but hey, you're next
But
to
it was
a
beautiful. It
huge-
was on the Arkansas River,
yeah.
and it was very nice.
It reminded me of
Very
the
nice.
Ohio River. I used to do kayaking, and when I lived in Cincinnati, me and Brewster, hi Brewster, we'd go out and kayak behind the barges, and so Arkansas River
was like-
reminded me.
yeah, it
and
was like that.
smelled like a mile, where I used to.
I think what's cool is
stomp
there's
around.
a lot of. This was a municipal park that we stayed in, and I think it was $8.
hmm
And there were no electrical hookups or anything like that, which is fine. We're self-contained. And we parked there for the night. It was a beautiful place. It was safe. It was quiet, and it was like a really nice retreat away from I-40. And then we continued on I-40 the next day. And where do we go from there?
Here. Well-
no, we went to.
Oh, Barzy.
We went to our first Harvest Host located place.
So there's apps that you can use with VanLife, which we had heard about when we were watching YouTube, other couples and other people doing VanLife. And we're like, what is Harvest Host? And so you can subscribe and then stay at places like museums and wineries and breweries and stuff. And then there's also iOverlander, which tells you where dispersed camping is, free
Yep.
camping. And then
The dirt.
the dirt has also been really great. That's
Yep.
where we found the stuff between
It's useful.
land between the lakes. But this Harvest Host sent us to Bar Z in
Winery.
yeah, in
was great.
Amarillo, Texas. We stayed there
So-
for days.
Yeah, we did.
Loved
We stayed
it.
there 3 nights.
The dog loved it.
Nice, big, open, beautiful field. She loved running in that field.
Yeah.
There's a lot of wildflowers
Great
in that.
wine and great,
They had
libations.
Texas wine distilled from Texas grapes. Really good pizza, actually.
Really good pizza.
Super friendly staff, and they don't charge anything
They just
for
want you to
us to stay there. They just want us to patronize their place while we're
Yeah.
there, and we did gladly. So
Yeah.
I love the wine and the food, and
Oh, and then
I feel like I'm getting value,
and then we went to
even though we dropped a ton of money.
We did drop a lot. It's the same as Mulberry, but this time we got wine involved. But we went to the second largest canyon in the country. I never even knew about it.
Yeah, and
Palo Duro, beautiful.
And
went to a
same
cave.
thing. We saw a cave. Same thing. We were about a week after a massive flood there. All the mountain bike trails, I was super stoked to ride those trails, by the way. All the mountain bike trails closed. We were told that they wouldn't reopen like in the foreseeable future, not while we were there, like not in the next few days, not in the next week or two. Footbridges is washed away, little bike trail bridges is washed away, and they were going to need to repair all that.
But if we had been mountain biking, we'd have never been hiking in that cave. And I loved hiking in that cave.
The cave was cool.
And the dog loved it. And then you were up on top of the roof looking at all the views.
Yeah.
And it was such a beautiful canyon.
Yeah, it was. It's a really beautiful place. And
you can camp there too. We thought about it.
I think of Texas as being super hot. All the time, but we had really great weather.
Really beautiful weather. Cool.
It was very it was
Sweater
actually
weather.
It was actually cold a few nights.
Like I'm
which was
cold
awesome.
right now.
I mean, it got down to 45 last night or the night before. It was chilly. Which brings us to today. Today is actually the start of our third week.
Yes.
We are now officially 15 days on the road.
Yes.
And we are in a little town called Vega.
And there is
we're still in Texas. Yeah, we're Vega, Texas.
They have the biggest branding iron in the country. And it's a cute little museum. The director took us through, and it's, he called over to the restaurant and said, hey, are you making cinnamon rolls in the morning? Oh, you're also making quiche. And he's like, go over there, be by 8 a.m. So that's just that's that small town.
That's nice. It's really nice.
Really nice, like that catfish we had.
We're actually not far from the Bar Z.
45 minutes.
Yeah. So Bar Z is in Canyon, Texas, which is very near south of Amarillo, Texas. Yeah. And we worked yesterday. We worked today, like full days, very productive. And
so tell them where we're headed next.
And like 45-minute drive. We came over here for the evening. And
got my shower. I'm relaxed.
Yeah.
I'm drinking my wine. Where are we headed tomorrow morning?
We got all filled up with fresh water, all that stuff. And tomorrow we are headed to Santa Fe, New Mexico.
And next week we will do another update. We're doing daily updates at the rebelrevel.com.
Mm-hmm.
That's over on the Patreon page. You'll see daily updates. Even the free subscribers will get the journal updates, the free daily updates. You can subscribe if you want some more different types of content.
Next week, you will also find out if it flooded in Santa Fe.
Seems to be our thing lately. So thanks, everybody. We will do weekly updates on YouTube, and hit us up on all of our social media. And thanks to all of our patrons already. We have so many. And so I'm going to learn how to list you all here, like all of the other YouTube couples we love to follow. So shout out to Brian and Emily. Shout out to Peter and Kathy Holcomb. Who else do we watch on YouTube?
Brian and Marisha.
Oh, right. And then Turn It Up World. We love them. Yeah, they love Star Wars. And so anyway, we've been really having fun watching other couples. And so we hope that we inspire somebody too. So bye, everybody.